Simplifying rational expressions. So we've got an expression here with a quadratic on the top and a quadratic on the bottom. So we're going to try and simplify that. It's a grade AA star question, quite a tricky one because the top's not nice, the bottom's not the easiest quadratic to factorise. So what we're trying to do is to get some brackets on here that we have the same on the top and the bottom, which we can cancel. Now the top part of this fraction, 4x squared minus 9, and this question is also harbouring a difference of two squares here, so this is another thing that's being examined here, which is not easy to spot, is that 4x squared is a square number. It's 2x times by 2x. 9 is 3 squared. Now when we've got two square numbers subtracted, that is the same as, or it can be written as, the brackets where we have 2x plus 3, so the things that we are squaring can be added and then times by them subtracted. So that's the quick way of factorising that if you can spot it. It's not easy to spot. You can try to think about it as being 4x squared plus 0x minus 9. That's another way of doing it, and try to find the brackets from there. But like I said, it's not the easiest one to spot, but there we go. The bottom one, 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. Now I've always just worked these out using numbers and trial and error, but I've come across recently a really quite neat method that I've seen being used on Maths 24/7, and if I remember, I will link it to that video to this example, but I'll try and talk you through it now. So the method is, because it's 2x squared, we just write 2x in the front of each bracket. What we're actually going to do is find factors for 4x squared, so we're going to multiply this through by 2, and then eventually we'll be able to cancel down some of the brackets. Now to find these two bits, we need to do this number times by this number, which is minus 30, and that's the thing we find the factors for, but we still make them add up to minus 7. So minus 30, we could have minus 30 times by 1, we could have minus 15 times by 2, we could have minus 10 times by 3, we could have minus 6 times by 5, and they've got to add to make minus 7. Now this is the one that adds to make minus 7. And it doesn't matter which way around you write this because they're both 2x's, so I'm going to put the plus 3 here and the minus 10 there. So minus 10 plus 3 is minus 7. Okay, now that's not the answer because this one can be cancelled down. You can divide through that by 2, so that's the same as 2x plus 3 x minus 5. It's not the same as that. Sorry, that's not the same as, I don't know why I'm saying that. I've actually divided that by 2, so that's telling us the one we need to do is the one where it's cancelled down because we only want 2x squared, not 4x squared. So we divided that one through by 2. Now that's a bit of a sort of a roundabout route to get to this answer, but I think if you get used to it, it is a really quick way of factorising quadratics when there's a multiple x squared. So we have that one, we have that one, this one is above this one, so that's above that, and then we can see that we have two things that are multiplied by each other and the same things in both, so we can cancel out that 2x plus 3, and then we're left with 2x minus 3 all over x minus 5. Now there's 4 marks for doing this. You'll get 1 mark for just straightforward getting that factorisation. There's 1 mark straight away for that. There is a mark for getting something along the lines of 2x plus or minus something and x plus or minus something. So if you don't get any further than just putting 2x and x to try and start to factorise this, you'd get a mark, a method mark, so long as your two numbers here multiply to give you 15. Then there's another mark for getting the actual factorisation, which is the 2x plus 3 and x minus 5. And then finally the answer mark for cancelling out the 2x plus 3. There is a proviso here, is if you go too far, if you get to here and then you think something like, oh, I can cancel out an x or something else, some extra cancelling, which you can't actually do, you'll actually lose your answer mark. You'll keep your 3 method marks of getting to this point, but you'll lose your answer mark if you do any further incorrect cancelling or work. So there we go, quite a tricky question, worth 4 marks.